passes from Caitlin? No. She decided not to do that. In fact, she praised Aaliyah Boston. But she passed on the opportunity to say anything positive about Caitlin Clark. She could have squashed all kinds of things right here. It's a perfect opportunity. Did she do it? No. And you will never convince me.
Watch the clip again. For about 30 seconds, Angel Reese praises her USA basketball teammates one by one. She highlights Chelsea Gray's ball handling. She mentions Aaliyah Boston's work in the post. She calls out specific players and specific skills, and it all sounds sincere. But one name is missing. And when you look at who else was on that roster, that absence is impossible to overlook.
Played in 13 games. In those 13 games, there were literally like what? 3 or 4 kind of incidents and 2 major incidents, including the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark kerfluffle. Well, I hadn't used that word in a while. In which, of course, the major story coming out of that was Indiana Fever fans called Angel Reese racist something, which launched a massive investigation. Should be noted, Indiana Fever did not defend its fans there.
Here's the background that matters. Last season, during a Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever game on June 16th, 2024, an incident set off a major investigation. Angel Reese and her team claimed that fans in Indiana were directing racist chants at her during the game. The league treated the claim seriously. Indiana launched a full review, checking arena audio and video and speaking with witnesses. In the end, they found no evidence at all. What they did identify was a sound effect played over the arena speakers, a common audio clip used in many arenas. It wasn't racist chants or targeted abuse, just a sound effect that was misunderstood. That's where things take a turn. The very next day, Angel Reese had an opportunity to clear up what happened.
During that whole situation, I believe it was the next day or the day after, Angel Reese was interviewed after practice. She had an opportunity to squash the narrative right there. I never heard anything that I would construe as being racist from those Indiana Fever fans, blah, blah, blah. She did not do that. She played along with it. Let's be real. She went along with that narrative. In fact, she was like, yeah, I feel good about the fact that they're doing an investigation. All the while knowing nothing happened.
That interview took place about 48 hours after the incident. By then, the investigation was already in motion, and Angel Reese had a clear choice to make. She could have explained what she personally experienced. She could have said she didn't hear anything racist herself. She could have suggested there may have been a misunderstanding and that Fever fans were not the issue. Instead, she supported the narrative as it stood. She said she was glad an investigation was happening and, in doing so, reinforced the accusations without any proof. When the review later ended with no findings, there was no follow-up, no clarification, no acknowledgement that the fans who were labeled racist might deserve an apology. The Indiana Fever organization also stayed silent, which sparked criticism of its own. But Angel Reese had the spotlight and the chance to clear the record. She chose not to use it.
Well, there was another opportunity. Of course, a lot of us believes Angel Reese doesn't care for Caitlin Clark too much. We've heard a lot of things. I did a video. We found out a while back that Angel Reese really didn't care for Caitlin Clark because anytime anybody brought up, the success of the league, Caitlin was always brought up, even if Angel was brought up. And that grinded her gears. Fry us a river. So, Angel Reese has come out and spoke about her time playing for USA Basketball.
Now we need to address the obvious issue. Several people close to the Chicago Sky say Angel Reese holds real resentment toward Caitlin Clark. Not a normal sports rivalry, not competitive tension, personal resentment. The reason is simple. Whenever Angel has a big game or reaches a milestone, the focus quickly shifts. Caitlin Clark's name comes up. Comparisons start. The attention moves away. And according to those familiar with Angel's thinking, that frustrates her deeply. That context matters when you look back at the USA basketball interview. This wasn't a casual comment caught off guard. It was an official USA basketball video. Angel knew it would be released publicly. She knew people would watch, and she made a clear, intentional decision about which teammates she chose to praise by name and which ones she did not.
On video, there were a couple of times they were absolutely on the court together. She had an opportunity to squash narratives out there, to try to do the bygones be bygones, let's all move forward, blah, blah, blah. And she didn't even have to say all that. She could have just said, oh man, being able to play with Caitlin, Paige, Chelsea. If you want to bring up Chelsea, that's fine. There's one point guard in the league, and it's not.
Let's look closely at what happened with that USA basketball roster. Angel Reese shared the floor with Caitlin Clark, Paige Buchers, Chelsea Gray, and Aaliyah Boston, among others. In the official interview, Angel chose to name Chelsea Gray and Aaliyah Boston specifically. She talked about Chelsea's ball handling and the need to stay alert for quick behind-the-back passes. She praised Aaliyah's footwork and skill in the post. Those compliments were fair and well-earned. But Caitlin Clark's name never came up, and that's hard to ignore. Caitlin is widely viewed as the best point guard in women's basketball today. Her passing and court vision define her game. Angel, a forward who lives off rebounds and close finishes, should benefit more than almost anyone from playing with a passer like that. Yet when she had the chance to acknowledge it, even briefly, she said nothing.
I mean, are we doing this again? Is that what we're doing? We're going to go through this yet again? I mean, I had to make a video yesterday because we got Sue Bird and Katie Nolan drudging up crap that was an issue in June of 2024. And here we are, about to be 2026. We're still doing this crap. We're still doing the hate thing. And I'm not hating on Angel Reese. I'm just saying she fumbled a huge opportunity here to squash a bunch of drama, a bunch of narratives, all this kind of thing. And she didn't do it. Just like she didn't seize the opportunity to jump out there and say, I never heard Indiana Fever fans making any kind of noises, and I don't believe they're racist. She passed on that opportunity too.
Now consider the timing. We're heading toward 2026, and the Caitlin Clark effect on the WNBA is impossible to deny. During her 13 games in the 2024 season, TV ratings jumped whenever she played. Arenas sold out. Attendance records fell. The league saw a major boost in attention and money. Yes, there were controversies. Physical play, questionable calls, and media storylines divided fans. All of that happened. But that's exactly why Angel's silence matters. This moment was an easy reset. A simple line. A brief nod to enjoying playing with talented teammates, including Caitlin. That alone would have helped move the story forward. It would have shown that whatever happened during the season stayed on the court, and that representing USA basketball was about unity. She didn't do that, and anyone who's been paying attention knows that wasn't an accident.
I've said this is 2026 is going to be the same things we've been seeing in 2024, in 13 games of 2025. I mean, so let's see. She would have played in another, let's just say roughly 35 games. What would we have seen? Another 5 or 6 or 7 fiascos go down? Because that was what we would have averaged enough where there would have been like 10 issues, 10 incidents if she'd have played all season. I'm talking about Caitlin. Unbelievable. And you know they really gonna get mad when she comes back and she's hitting threes in faces again. Tell me what you think.
Here's what this tells us about where the league is headed in 2026 and beyond. The WNBA just had its most visible season ever, largely driven by one player's impact on ratings and attendance. Caitlin Clark played only 13 games in 2024 before a wrist injury ended her season in September. In that short stretch, there were about 4 major controversies tied to physical play, media coverage, or fan behavior. Stretch that over a full 40-game season, and you're potentially looking at 10 to 12 headline-making incidents for all the wrong reasons. The league now faces a clear choice. Either players and media voices decide to move past the drama and focus on basketball, or this cycle continues. Every hard foul turns into a debate about rivalry and identity. Every interview reopens old wounds. Every USA basketball moment becomes a chance to send quiet messages through what's left unsaid. Angel Reese's interview showed which path she's taking. When Caitlin Clark returns next season, healthy and doing what she does best, the same people who fueled the drama in 2024 will likely be right back at it. Nothing has been resolved. The tension is still there. That's why this wasn't just a missed moment for Angel Reese. It was a preview of what's coming. The league's biggest star is returning to an environment where some players and media figures have already decided they won't fully credit her impact or move on from personal feelings. And that sets the stage for the same cycle of controversy all over again. So the real question isn't whether Angel Reese should have mentioned Caitlin Clark in that interview. So the real issue is this. Does anyone in the WNBA world have the maturity to put the league's growth ahead of personal grudges? Right now, the evidence says no. Sue Bird and Katie Nolan are still revisiting controversies from June. Angel Reese continues to avoid even acknowledging Caitlin Clark, even when they're teammates on USA Basketball. Fans remain split into sides, spending more time arguing over narratives than enjoying the game itself. This is what the 2026 WNBA season is shaping up to be. More drama, more controversy, more missed chances to build something bigger than individual egos. Angel Reese just gave us a preview, and it's not a hopeful one. So here's the real question. When Caitlin Clark returns, starts dominating again, boosts ratings, fills arenas, and pulls national attention back to the league, will the same players and commentators stir up the same drama? Or will someone finally step up and say enough? Let's focus on basketball and grow this league together. Based on what we just saw, don't hold your breath. The pattern is clear. The sides are chosen. And Angel Reese just made her position obvious. Let me know what you think. Was this intentional? Or am I reading too much into a 30-second interview? From where I'm sitting, the message was loud and clear.